Linda Gunek to Know My Life.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm very excited to hear a little bit about your life story today.
I'm excited to be telling it.
Well, let's start at the beginning. So where were you born, and what was it like being a kid in your house?
Oh, okay. I was born in Ryde, and we lived in Ermington for a while, so just outside the hills area. Moved to the hills when I was 4.
Okay.
My dad purchased 5 acres in Kenthurst and built a beautiful home, and we had a wonderful lifestyle. We had dogs and cats, and ended up having horses as well. So I spent a lot of my teenage time on horses and gallivanting around the place on those. It was lovely.
Brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister, and I have a stepbrother and a stepsister as well.
Oh wow, big family.
Yeah, it is a big family.
How important is family to you today?
Very important today. I think as you're growing up, the family tend to get in the way of what you want to do, where you want to go, because everybody has their own expectations. But nowadays I realise really how important they are and how important they've been in shaping who the person I am today.
Isn't that true? So true. What were you like at school?
I was a bit wild.
That probably means you're a bit wild in general.
In general, yes. I think I've mellowed now a little bit.
I'm not so sure about that.
I love to have a great time. I love to be social with people. Really enjoy being with other people. That's where I draw all my energy. But no, in school I was a little bit wild. I didn't really have much direction in school. I didn't know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go, what I wanted to be. So I just sort of went with the flow and made sure I was having a lot of fun. And, my studies and what have you, I was not the brightest kid there by any means, but I managed to get by.
You've done okay for yourself regardless.
I have. I've been blessed with, I think people call it street smarts.
Yeah.
A lot of common sense.
Yeah. Who were some of the strong influences in your growing as you grew up?
My dad. My dad was very strong influence.
Tell me about Dad.
Dad came out from England. He was a 10-pound pom.
Okay.
So he came out with Mum, and that was in the 50s. And I was born in the 60s, and he's a self-made person. So he set up his own businesses. He was a chippy.
Oh, you've got business in the blood.
Yes. So I watched him over many years about how he operated, and his thought processes and patterns, and thought, okay, when I started my own business, I thought I was able to pick and choose the things that I thought were going to be right for me,
right,
and in the way to operate. I haven't been as successful as him to date, but I'm certainly very happy with where I am and where I'm going now.
That's great. So university, extended studies, anything like that?
I did my HSC way back. And then I went on to Metropolitan Business College and I did secretarial studies. So I learned shorthand and touch typing and bookkeeping and all that sort of thing. So that was in the city, and I was there for a year. And then I went on and was secretary for a few companies and ended up being the PA to the general manager of Sydney Airport.
Oh, wow.
Which is where I met my husband.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah. So,
we'll get on to your husband in a minute.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about your work, your career.
Well, moving on from there, I then ended up getting a job closer to home. I married John in 1990, and then at the time I was working for Tetra Pak in their marketing department, and learned lots and lots of bits and pieces there. And then I was pregnant and had my babies, and I loved looking after my children, but it wasn't enough.
Right.
So I decided to start my first business then.
Okay, tell me about that. What was that?
That was a graphic design business, more page layout. It was I actually self-taught. I taught myself
Wow.
how to use all the software required, and I invested a little bit of money in a Macintosh and a printer, and got an extra phone, and actually worked out of my laundry. This
No
is when
way.
I know, when I was living in Winston Hills.
Wow.
Yep. So I was working around the babies at the time. So
How wonderful that you could do that, though.
it was marvellous, and I did have help. I had a neighbour that would come in every now and again and look after
To
the
help
kids.
with the kids or the
Yeah,
business?
no, to help with the kids. Because sometimes business calls and you just have to be there for that.
That's right.
But it worked out really, really well because this neighbour had marvellous things to give the children as well.
Wow,
You
how
know, she
wonderful.
had very different personality to me. I think she was a lot more patient.
What did you learn in those years about business, in those first few years that you'd started your own business? What were some of the lessons you learned back then?
That it's hard. That what I was actually doing back then was more providing a service. I was very lucky to become involved with quite a large print company.
Okay.
And then as it turned out, they didn't subcontract me as such, but I was their go-to person when any of their clients required artwork done for their brochures and business cards and magazines, etc. So, like I said, I was providing a service, and you've got to be there to do whatever it is. There are deadlines,
There are.
and you've got to meet those deadlines. But probably the biggest thing I learned was about customer service, and to really look after people the way you want to be looked after, and that became my point of difference. I would always, if I came across a problem in whatever work I was doing, I would, rather than just flick it back to the client, I would always provide a solution.
Right.
And that's what...
It's good practice to
Exactly. And that's what, that was my point of difference at the time.
have.
And it still is, it's still what we do.
So then from there, moving on, what came next for you?
Oh, moving on. Well, that business has been running for 20 years, and we got very involved with producing publications for other publishers. And all our clients have been long term. We still have clients from 10 years ago producing
That's
magazines.
great testimony to the service that you offer.
Absolutely. And we thoroughly enjoy doing it. Even though we work alone, you know, we have our own little business and our way of doing things, we always make sure that we're a part of the team. So the team includes the client, includes the printer at the end of the day, and includes their advertising salespeople. Everybody that goes towards putting something into the job, that's what I consider to be the team, and we make sure that we work with everyone that way. And I think that's also what I've been taught by my family as well, is that we all work together
Right.
to get to where we want to be.
That's lovely. And so the business that you started all those years ago, is that the business you still run today?
It is still ticking over. Yes,
Wow.
it's still
and
ticking
what's
over.
that business called, Linda?
That's By Design Graphics, and which is now taking a new direction. I've decided to change its focus and move into magazines by design.
Wow. Okay.
So we're really moving into that publishing area now and concentrating on that because that's our real strength.
Well, it's a natural progression too from what you've been doing over the years. If you're working
Absolutely.
for other people's publications, you may as well get started on some of your own.
Exactly. So, you know, they talk about taking a shotgun approach, which is what I was doing for a little while there. But I've decided, no, let's niche. Let's really focus on what we're great at so that we can provide that terrific service.
Yeah. So
To
what's
everyone.
it been like? You've got one publication now that's
Yes.
been running for
18 months.
18 months now, and that is the Sydney Hills Living
Living.
magazine.
Yeah.
What's it like being the owner or publisher of a magazine, a beautiful magazine?
Oh, thank you. It's a dream come true.
Wow.
It really is. Probably for about 10 years, maybe even longer, I'd been thinking the Hills could really do with a magazine. This would be a great area for a magazine. But I never had the confidence to do that. Never had the confidence just to take that up and run with it. And I think as you get older and your kids get older, they don't need you so much. you're learning more through business, you're meeting more people, and then you go through life's challenges, which there have been quite a few. You get to a point and you go, you know what, we've just got to do this. Just got to give it a go.
Good on you.
Yeah.
So you gained this confidence just through navigating your way, I guess, through life and getting to the point where you think, I'm going to have a crack at something I've dreamt about for a long time. What are some of the challenges you've had to overcome along the way, Linda?
Oh, okay. So I can go back. You know, I had parents that were divorced, which caused all sorts of troubles. Not at the time, but you don't realise the impact that these things can have on you.
It's true.
Amazing learning experience. Not a real fun one, but at the end of the day, it did go to teach me so much. We've had a fair bit of sickness in the family. My husband had a major accident a few years ago. I've suffered through severe clinical depression.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's been all sorts of things, and I think it's actually coming out of that depression that really triggered things for me. It's like, life is too short. You cannot live like this. You've just got to go for it.
And so what do you attribute to helping you move out of that? Mental illness and depression is a big, big deal for our society at the moment. What got you out of that?
I had a lot of help. I did go to a fabulous psychologist. I went through a few first, and then I found one that suited me and my situation. And she was amazing. She taught me so much about how I react and interact with other people.
Okay.
And then I also had some medication, and my doctors were looking after me. I took myself away for a couple of weeks and went to a clinic.
Right.
Where it was just basically focusing on really good vegan. It was a vegan diet. They got you up and out of bed every morning at 7 to go for a walk and appreciate the sunshine.
Wow.
And appreciate the fresh air and appreciate your body, no matter what it was like. But just to start to concentrate on all the beautiful things again in your life. It's a real journey for people going through depression, and everybody's journey is different. But depression is something that it's not just 1 or 2 life events or even 10 life events that can cause it. It's always a combination of diet, exercise, sunshine, and then there's your life events as well. And all these things go to your state of mind.
Right.
All of them.
Would you say you're healed, or is it still a battle, a daily, weekly challenge for you?
I would say I'm pretty well healed. It is something that is always in the back of your mind, though. There are times when you do start to feel a little bit down because, there are still life events that go on.
Life throws curveballs every day.
It does. Really. It does. But you know what? Now I can catch them and throw them back.
I love that. That's wonderful. Good on you.
Yeah. So there's so many things that go toward it, and it does hang around in the back of your mind a little bit. You are very aware of where you could go.
Right.
And so that also makes you very aware of what you need to do to make sure you don't go back there.
Yeah, self-love is a good thing, hey?
It is a good thing. It is a great thing. No, and I think people take self-love the wrong way. I mean, I've taken that the wrong way for many, many years, and it's not until quite recently that I realised the way I think about myself has not done me any good whatsoever.
Yes. Coming out of depression or a tough time, I imagine someone as special as your husband would be just a wonderful person to grab your hand and say, come on, come with me. I know he's very, very important to you. Tell me a little bit about John.
John, as I said, we were married in 1990. We've now been married for 26 years in June. So we were really happy to reach that milestone, and I cannot imagine life with anyone else. He is such a, how do you put it? He's a very calm person. He's very calm, which is a great, I've lost the words.
Leveler.
Yeah.
Like a leveler
A
for
great
you.
leveler for me, because I can be pretty well all over the place. Depression not included, that's just put aside. He was really wonderfully supportive through that time. He doesn't push you though. He just lets you get on and do what you need to do. He's there if you have, if you want his opinion, he'll give it, but otherwise he won't. So as I said, he's just very calm, very, very caring. He's a wonderful husband, a terrific dad. He and the boys have a marvellous time together.
Yep.
And I sort of jump in with them every now and again, but they're a bit too rowdy for me.
Or you're in a house full of men now. They're not little boys anymore,
That's
are they?
right. There's these big men walking through the house. They're blokes.
They are blokes.
Big blokes walking through the house.
So tell me about the boys.
Oh,
What are their names?
yeah, so Daniel's almost 22, Michael's almost 20, and Daniel's finished his degree. He's got a Bachelor of Commerce, majored in International Business.
Wow.
Yeah.
How impressive.
I know, he did really well. He did very, very, very well. He's very focused. He's got his father's determination and that focus.
Rock solid by the sounds of it.
He is. And now he's having a bit of a gap year to fiddle around. He's just doing some landscaping and
Getting in touch with his wild side like his mum.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit above and beyond now. So he's having his gap year this year. He's hoping to travel at the end of the year.
Nice.
So before he gets into it, because he does have that real focus, it's the sort of thing that when he starts work, that's it. Yeah. He'll just be into that. So, but he's not really sure what he wants to do in that role yet.
I think I heard you say that about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's what you were like when you were
exactly.
at that age.
Yeah, it filters down.
I think that's very normal.
Yeah, it filters down. He does know that he loves business and he loves to analyse things. And he likes strategy. He's very, very strategic.
Come in handy in your business at some point, perhaps.
I don't think he wants to have anything to do with my business.
And your other son?
We tend to clash. Michael he's a plumber.
Okay.
So he's just finished his third year apprenticeship. He's about to move into his fourth. He left school when he was in year 10 and went to Trades Norwest. And, so we had a little bit of the schoolroom and that support there, still being at school. And then he managed to get some work through Trades Norwest with a building company. And he pretty knows how to put up an entire building now.
Wow,
not
that's
just
amazing.
plumbing. Yeah, so he'll be moving into probably a foreman's role in the next few years.
Oh, how wonderful!
Yeah,
so very proud.
I am extremely proud of the pair of them. They're both so different. Daniel's very like his father academically, very like me, has a very fiery temperament. Whereas Michael has got his father's calm personality.
Nice and
He's very steady, very.
Isn't it interesting that we can have these children, same mum and dad, but they're so different?
Completely different. Yeah,
amazing.
completely different, and they're just beautiful. I'm so proud of the pair of them, and I had my 50th birthday a few weeks ago, and one of the things that I reflected upon was, if there's one thing that I've done really well, that John and I have done really well, and that's in bringing up those boys.
Oh, that's lovely.
I'm really proud of you
That's wonderful, beautiful. Yeah. So other than being mum and business, what else do you do? What do you do for fun these days? You said you've got a wild side.
I love to socialise. I do go out for a lot of dinners, and I love to attend events, and I love to sit and have a cuppa and a chat with people. Yeah. I do love to snow ski. We try to ski every year with the boys. So it's something that we can do every year together, have a really great time, and nobody gets cranky with each other because we're all just having a really great time,
Creating memories too, which is great.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very special.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So loving to socialise. I love to snow ski. I still like to horse ride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So fortunately my sister Katrina, she has horses, so I'm able to go and visit her and leap on one of her gorgeous animals. Yeah.
Not often do you get to do that?
Not often enough at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Probably once every few months now. Yeah. But it used to be quite a regular thing.
Yeah.
Especially when I was coming out, when I was being treated for my depression too.
Yes.
she stepped up and she said, "Come on, Lynn, let's go riding."
Nice.
And that was beautiful, just appreciating nature.
Yeah, sounds like that's important to you too. Getting out in the
Absolutely.
sunshine, getting out of the four walls, confines
Yes.
of business.
Yes, I do like to be out.
Yeah, very good. So you've just said you turned 50 recently. So what's the future look like? You know, heading forward, what are your plans and dreams for the next part of your life?
Super bright. I have so much more confidence now. I have a lot more time. You know, being a mum is almost a full-time job. It can be a full-time job. They don't need me quite so much now. You know, your relationships change as they get older.
Yep.
So now I feel like I have a lot more time to do what I want to do. I've got a lot more time to focus on myself, my own growth and development. Learning from others. I'm a lot more open to what other people have to say and their opinions and the way they live their
A bit
life.
more accepting maybe.
Bit more accepting, but also more discerning in a way too, rather than think, no, that's not for me. Sort of really thinking, well, okay, how could I apply that to my life now, where I want to go? More open to what other people are wanting, you know, and thinking, well, what can I do to help those people, either in business or personally?
Very good. I've seen that in you out in our community, that you're always there volunteering to put your hand up and give someone a kind word or, you know, a helping hand, which is lovely. So I think that comes with age too, and like you say, a bit more time on our hands. It's wonderful. You've learned a few things over the years.
Oh, yes. And I think the best way to help other people, or I think you're more able to help other people when you've been through some stuff yourself.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and everybody's been through stuff.
They have.
Everybody has got a story.
Or is going through stuff
Or is
right
going
now.
through stuff.
So if you had to give some advice to someone, maybe the boys, young people, about, you know, what it is that's going to bring joy or peace or whatever it is to your life, what would the best bit of life advice be to someone a bit young, just about to start out in their careers or head into
that's a really
their life?
big question.
Yeah.
That's a big question. It's something that I haven't thought about too much, because you tend to give advice in little bits, don't you?
You do.
But as a statement, as a whole, breathe.
Oh.
Take time. Take time to think about what is right for you. I think a lot of people do what's right for everybody else,
Yep.
and maybe not quite so much what's right for them. I think take that time and really work it out. Make sure you don't hurt other people, but you've got to make sure you do what is right for you, and work hard.
Well, you certainly do that. It's been great sitting here with you this afternoon, hearing a little bit about your life. So thank you very much for being here. And I wish you all the very best for all your dreams for the next chapter of your life.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful to talk to you too, Nicole. Thank you.